I don't know anything about the Smurfs. I know about the TV show, I know the theme song, I know it's based on the comic created by Peyo. I think the animation looks kind of fun. The character designs are very appealing. I know the characters are blue. Let's face it, the whole thing just went over my head. I was never invested in this franchise. So don't be surprised if I didn't really care when they made a 2011 Smurfs film. You know, people were saying it was so bad that it was ruining the original series, or, you know, it was an absolute stain on the original comics. But honestly, I don't think movies really have that much power. I still hear bad things about this all the time, just like the Scooby-Doo films, which were directed by Raja Gosnell, who also directed the Smurfs. I have seen Show Dogs, which was also directed by Raja Gosnell. I think I was one of the few people that saw it this year, so having sat through that, this was an easy breeze. A boring breeze for sure, but it was easy. I don't think I would go as far as what the cover is saying, adorable and sweet perfect for family fun, which apparently was quoted by the Family Channel. Yeah, that's a trustworthy source, I suppose. In any case, the Smurfs. It exists. This was a Patreon request from Ryan, who's been asking me to do all the Sony Animation films in order. So if you want to be like him, you can go over to my Patreon, you can support it, support me, and you can get all kinds of different perks, including asking me to review any movie that I haven't reviewed already. The opening scenes at the Smurf village seem to emulate the original. It feels like an appropriate tribute. The village is full of characters who are named after their specific personalities, or the other way around. How does all of that work anyway? And I guess this is supposed to be Belgium, but the Smurfs village is hidden in the force field. We also meet the villain, Gargamel, played by Hank Azaria. This is a good casting decision. The character itself is already pretty silly, and having him stick out of the New York setting actually does make me laugh. There's a lot of random cameos playing the Smurfs, from John Oliver, BJ Novak, and even Paul Rubens. They're not the main characters, but you can at least audibly understand the actors, unlike Alvin and the Chipmunks, where the voices are high-pitched, so the casting high-profile celebrities is pointless. The main cast is comprised of the likes of George Lopez, Fred Armisen, and Katy Perry. They're all okay, I guess. If you want to spend that kind of money on a voice cast, go ahead. I did appreciate Jonathan Winters returning to the role of Papa Smurf. He would pass away only 2 years later, so I'm glad we still got some work out of the legendary comedian. Then again, if he knew just how much advertising this movie would sink into, he'd probably go to the Sony corporate office and respond this way. Seriously, this has tons of advertising and was meant to advertise the Smurfs brand to a new generation, and even has a live-action character whose job is in advertising. It really makes me think that the advertising department themselves wrote the screenplay, and that might not be too far-fetched since it was written by 4 people. There's a portal that brings them to New York, because of course there is, and they run away from Gargamel, who managed to find the villain because of Clumsy Smurf, played by the late Anton Yelchin.
They went to get a stargazer so Papa can smurf a blue moon to get us home.
And they went without you?
Yeah. I mean, who knows why?
As to why they'd continue to hang out with a character like Clumsy, I have no idea, but it does become a focal point of the story. Kind of. It's supposed to be Clumsy's chance to prove himself. There isn't a lot of digging into this though. But hey, I like the work Yelchin did for the role, so that's fine. Then they meet Neil Patrick Harris and Jayma Mays. I'm sure they have character names, but, well, like I have the brain capacity to remember that. They're the average Americans who live in a great New York apartment, and they all have great jobs in advertising, and he makes great successful logos in a matter of minutes. It's so inspirational. And when they find the Smurfs, they react like normal human beings. You see, it's all chipper in the world's greatest city. As a side note though, I'm a sucker for scenery of modern day New York in any movie. The couple is having a baby, and I guess the Smurfs are meant to be the training run for them, but at one point, Harris says something so terrible that it kind of makes his character unredeemable.
I never wanted a house full of little people running around.
I understand character flaws, but this one, for a kid's movie, it just goes too far. doesn't even really seem like they do anything to make up for it. Everything is pretty by the numbers. If you've watched any other one of these modern day live action animation hybrids based on an existing property, you've basically seen this movie. And like the rest of those, I'm more okay with watching them than other cinephiles. The stuff that really gets on people's nerves, like the constant use of the word Smurf, it doesn't really bother me too much. There's cringy moments, like when Katy Perry portrayed Smurfette and says, "I kissed a Smurf and I liked it."
I kissed a Smurf and I liked it?
I really hope she was paid a lot to say that. But I also find a few things funny. Narrator Smurf is silly. There's a joke about passive-aggressive Smurf. That's about it.
I'll tell you who I don't miss. Passive-aggressive Smurf.
Yeah, he's always so nice, but when he leaves, you feel bad.
I think this one's an easy skip. As to why it's a Sony Animation film, I have no idea. It's the only studio that I can think of that uses the animation moniker for live-action hybrids. There's a couple more of these, but for the meantime, I think I'm gonna go ahead and watch some more Blu-rays and play some Guitar Hero, and while I'm at it, I think I'll go buy some tickets for Blue Man Group as well. I don't know, every time I watch the Smurfs, I just feel the need to do all that. Oh, that's weird. I think there's something behind the cover of this. Smurfs 2? There's 2 of these! Hey everyone, thanks for watching this video. And what do you think of the Smurfs? Do you think it's really as bad as everyone says? Or is there something you like about it? Tell me what you think. I want to thank everyone for supporting me on Patreon. That would be Movie Johnson, Lucas, and Ryan. And right now, I think I gotta calm down a little, relax from all the video making, because tomorrow I gotta talk about another series that just has too many sequels. See you then.